Hi, this video is about my experiences trying to fix my dad's favorite chainsaw. Note, I do not have any video of this. I am simply recalling what happened the last few months since spring. If you need expert how-to videos, you should check out the videos I used instead. See the links in the description below. My dad has sadly been unable to use his favorite chainsaw this last year because the saw started bugging down. He assumed the engine was worn out since this saw was bought in 2009 and has been used a lot. The bar and chain has already been replaced once. In addition, the saw was leaking extra bar oil and sometimes fuel. Small droplets of fuel always found their way into the air filter when using the saw. Back in spring, I tried to solve all of these problems at once. To get rid of the bar oil leak, I encapsulated the bottom bar oil line in some very strong glue. This was a fast, cheap and ugly fix that worked wonders. I replaced the gasket and the metering diaphragm inside the carb. Unfortunately, I did not first completely disassemble and clean it using brake cleaner or carb cleaner. That was a big mistake, and so I had to do it all over again. I also replaced the in-tank fuel line, fuel filter and air filter. As for the fuel contaminating the air filter, this was because of the old tank valve sitting below the air filter. I think it was leaking. At least the problem disappeared when I stuffed paper around the valve to protect the air filter. But did all of this really help? Well, not really. The saw did idle better and was easier to start after the carb adjustment. But the saw still lacked power and the throttle response was poor. And so I gave up. Or at least I started believing the engine was really worn out and could not be easily saved. Fast forward a few months and his other steel saw, a MS250, had almost the same problem. One day I was given permission to do whatever I wanted because he wanted to throw them out. Eager for a bigger challenge, I decided I would try to install new piston rings and maybe new pistons. But getting more into engine know-how, I realized I needed a compression testing kit first. So I bought one and was finally able to test both steel saws, just to confirm that I should go ahead and replace engine parts. But lo and behold, both saws showed excellent compression. Now how the frack could this be if the engine was really worn out? In the end, for the small 181 saw, the only other possible explanation I could find was a blocked exhaust. But I had already checked back in spring. I found nothing. At that time I also took a quick peek inside the exhaust port when the muffler was off. I could easily see the piston and the rings and everything looked okay. But I was wrong. The problem was actually staring me in the face back then, yet I did not see it. I had never read anywhere that the exhaust port itself could get clogged up, so I did not look for it or consider this as a possible problem. And I learned much later that the saw had been running using the cheapest 2-stroke mineral oil. So, after scraping the exhaust port clean, there was quite a difference. The chainsaw is finally back in working order. It sounds, feels and behaves like a regular chainsaw again. And my dad is very happy with it. Thanks for watching and listening to me ramble on. Do you have any questions? If so, write a comment or send me a message. If you are experiencing the same problems, do not lose hope if your engine still has good compression. Maybe you can still fix it. Bye!